Darren Kane says, I kick Middlemarch into a field will surely go viral. And I have actually changed the video to that. Here's the proof. Welcome to Comments Day, where we talk about your comments. I picked a few comments that I've had over the past 7 days and let's talk about them. In relation to The Remains of the Day by Kazuo Ishiguro, Neko Connor says, I hope you're the right type of Neko. You know, the one we're all thinking of, let's not kid ourselves. I expected to find this book slow, but instead it was quite literally a page-turner, one of the best I've read in a while. Neko Connor, I don't have enough time in the day to explain how wrong you are, but if you want to live a lie, you're more than welcome to. CJ reads, did you fix your camera? Let's just start a Booktube drama here. CJ, have you even watched my recent videos? Now let's call this video Booktube drama, who cares? Did I fix my camera? No. If you have seen my London reading vlog, I bought a Canon G7X for the trip. And I gave it to my 2-year-old. And then she threw it on the floor in the space of half hour and it got smashed. So I bought this one. It's a Sony. It cost me 280 quid to replace the camera I just bought for 500 quid. I now keep this camera far out of reach. Sticking with my London vlog, Leanne Rose says, this was so much fun. I'm sorry I wasn't around when you were visiting, but next time. Yeah, Leanne, you better be sorry. Or Booktube drama. Please no, because I've spoken about this a few times with my mate and she's like, absolutely. I am going to be creating a video with an application to appear on Book Community because how haven't I appeared on there yet? I'm like prime suspect #1 to be on Book Community. What do I need to do? I kick books, I start drama, I got RC Waldun to remove 2 of his books from sale. What more do I need to do? And thinking about RC Waldun, Ian says, Waldun will never recover from this. And this was in relation to my Dark Academia video. A lot of comments on there were talking about RC Waldun, like I'm taking a dig at RC Waldun. I'm taking a dig at a lot of people who like perpetuate Dark Academia. Obviously the comment where I say it's the next Renaissance is RC Waldun, but I also take like a hit at like the whole Dark Academia like study with me for like 19,000 hours. I even read out from someone's, it's Dakota Warren's, I don't care. She's not going to be my mate, is she? Where I tried to be really serious quoting her blog, but I really couldn't. I couldn't help it. Dark Academia is trying to hold a candle to Sylvia Plath's Ariel, but all it's given is Disney. Dark Academia is everything that everyone hates about readers. And I'm happy to say that. I think it is like the epitome of what people hate about people who read. And the large majority of people aren't like that. So it's not just RC Waldun. Like, if I wanted to do some damage, I could review There's a Tale to the City, but we all got better things to do with our lives. Cooper Warren says, will you please review Passing Tales by Waldun? No. I've mentioned this before. I'm not going to review Passing Tales because it's free. It's all on his website. I know he's done an audiobook for it. Yeah, because he's not selling it as like a commercial book, or he hasn't done like an indie press of it. Like, no, absolutely not. But I think I'm done with Waldun. I've been done with Waldun since L'Academy. Like, I'm not interested in reading any of his stuff. He's done it twice. He'll do it a 3rd time, probably. Calcwhiter says, Jiminy Crickets, this video's doomed in terms of scoopily poopily comments. Coming up all the time, isn't it? Guess what video that's from? Oh yeah, it's the Satanic Verses. I was fully aware when I put that up that it was just going to be an absolute torrent. Interestingly, I actually had the video all set up to go. And then once Salman Rushdie was stabbed, I was like, yeah, now's the time. Because I was worried, like, how, like, divisive and how controversial, and it's still, you know, in conversation with its infamy. So I just thought, look, if I don't upload it now, I'm never going to upload it. And, oh, it's finally my #1 video. It's finally beat RC Waldun. I cannot tell you how happy that makes me that Salman Rushdie's at the top. Let's stir the Booktube drama pot once again. If you were a booktuber who made a video about Salman Rushdie getting stabbed and you bought a copy of the Satanic Verses, Where is the review talking about it? Where is the review? You gotta commit to these things, and when you're associating yourself with my homeboy, Salman Rushdie, you know you're gonna get my wrath. 5T757 says, yes, I'm glad to see someone else getting annoyed by the misuse of this. It's rapidly reached a point where POV is just slapped on every single video and it's lost all its meaning. I was so glad when I put this video up that, again, I was not the only person. Point of view means it's from your point of view. I don't even understand where the confusion is for point of view, and I'm normally not like a stickler for terms. I agree that there's like some elasticity that can be pulled, but this one like fries me. This one I don't. It's just wrong. Let's go back to Salman Rushdie. Paramita Mukherjee says, best Partition novel? Maybe. I will say that Midnight's Children to me is the best Partition novel, and I love everything that it does. And Salman Rushdie's my homeboy, and I had big hopes going into it, and he absolutely executed all my hopes and dreams. And it stands out from, like, the rest of them. And I've read some wonderful Partition novels, and I'm not saying that, like, you shouldn't read any of the others. But Midnight's Children, to me, is the best Partition novel. However, Sant Reed does make a pertinent point. If you haven't read Tamas by Bisham Sani, you haven't read Partition literature. It may not be the best, but it's my favourite. Midnight's Children, in my opinion, is the most creative and chaotic Partition literature book, like with a hostilic point of view. We don't know what point of view means anymore, Sant, so who knows what you mean by there. Sant almost read my mind because... Oh no, that's not the right book. Oh wait, am I thinking of a different book? Oh no, I do own Tamas. Oh wait, oh right, I didn't even plan this. I didn't even plan this. I've got it wrong. So there's Tamas by Sani, which has been translated by Daisy Rockwell, who recently won the International Booker Prize for her translation of Gitanjali Shree's Tomb of Sad. And Rockwell was kind enough to send me this. But I was thinking of, we might as well mention it. But Daisy also sent me this, Jutha Sark's Yashpal, which says a masterpiece of Partition literature. I haven't opened it, I don't know what it's about, it's still got a little film on it. So I was tempted to read this one. I might get around to reading Tamas. I generally thought these were the other way round. But I will happily read Tamas, Sant, so thank you for that. But Yashpal, we might be doing like a big Plek read of this. And if you have read it, let me know if it's any good. Run Right Read says, £1.54, you're raking it in over there, KD. This is in relation to the ad sets I made on Pinocchio, and there's been an update. Look at that! Ha ha ha! Influencer me. To continue on from Pinocchio, VC Ackerman says, I wonder if Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio movie will be closer to the book version. Well, absolutely not. And we've saved the best to last. This is an epic comment by Japit Menton. What a coincidence! I was thinking about how bad your views are, and on the same day you released this video. How snarky does he sound? And I'm here for it. I commented back being like, I love the opening to this. Like he's gonna like drop some truths now. I watched your review of The God of Small Things before I started reading it. Just to give you some context, The God of Small Things was the second or third book review I had ever done. And I watched it back after reading this comment. It's not great. I didn't know what to talk about, I wasn't that enthusiastic about it, and I didn't really know how to structure a review, like, at all. So I just, like, vaguely bumbled my way through it. But that's not Japit's point. You did not mention that this book has depictions of sexual abuse with a minor and domestic violence in it. That is true. I didn't talk about Orange Drink, Lemon Drink Man. I didn't talk about the domestic violence in it. If you've watched my videos, you know that I don't do trigger warnings. I don't talk about content like that unless I think it's like really pertinent to the book. Let me finish the comment and I'll talk about why I don't. That is crucial information that you should have told us as a reviewer. Let me jump in for 2 seconds. That is not the reviewer's job. Like, that is not what a reviewer should do in my eyes. I am a little less than halfway through the book, and the book is so depressing that I'm debating continuing reading. The God of Small Things doesn't prop itself up as a happy-go-lucky read. It starts with the death of a cousin. It's not cheery at all. I wish I would have known that beforehand. It caught me off guard and ruined my mood for some days. I mean, reading about sexual assault of a child, it should make you feel like that, so I suppose Roy has done her job well. But do I think it's the reviewer's job to give you content warnings? absolutely not. And the reason for this is that if you look across all reviews of people, there's one thing that is lacking in regards to trigger warnings. Consistency. I have watched my fair share of Toni Morrison's The Bluest Eye reviews, and I'm only going to give you one example. How many people do you think talk about the sexual abuse that happens to a child in that book? How many people do you think talk about domestic abuse in that book? It's very few, actually. But I read a few God of Small Things reviews after reading your comment, and like about 50-50 mention it. Like, it's not like a consistent theme. If I was to do trigger warnings, I would probably adopt the same system that's used for British films, just for absolute consistency, but I don't think that's the role of the reviewer. More so, wouldn't it be the role of the publisher? Because I read The God of Small Things and I didn't read a review, and I went into it absolutely blind. I don't know this, but I feel as though my opinions on trigger warnings are in the minority. But again, I've done this for 3 years and no one's ever questioned it. So is it that big of a deal? You let me know. This was Comments Week, and if you want to appear on next week's instalment, drop a comment. And the more you comment, the more likely you're here to turn up. Have a good week.